We are live. Welcome to the Money GPS Live. I want to thank you all for being here today. Welcome you all in. We got a few people coming on in already. Setting up everything on my end right here. We got Instagram going. Gonna get my favorite of all time, TikTok, going. Not that anybody's gonna join the live on there, but let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get on everything we can, all right? All right, we got 9 people in the house on YouTube. Thank you, thank you. We've got Instagram. Thank you for coming in. We are going to talk about the real unemployment rate, how to find that, what it's all about. That's what we're going to talk about today. All right, guys? Wait for everybody to get in here. In the meantime, if you want to drop in the comment section right here, if you want to drop where you are from, let's get that going. I'm always interested to hear where people are from, especially not just on the YouTube and the Facebook and the Twitter, but also on the Instagram and as well as TikTok. Thank you for coming on in, TikTok. Appreciate wherever you are, whatever app you're on. This guy. Okay, I'm here. You could start now. Hello, David. Thank you. Planet Earth. That's good. It's good to know. Montana over here. Arizona. Ready for the truth to be revealed. Good stuff, good stuff. All right. Orange County. All right. Most of my subscribers are from the United States, also from Canada, UK, Australia, but primarily, no question about it, United States. So I do gear my information to the United States viewer. However, I love to bring up information from anywhere. If I see an article that I think is important about New Zealand, I put it in the show. My friends, I know I got a lot of friends in Australia. All right. My pronunciation of the Australian words isn't the best, but I try. Hello from New York. Thank you very much for coming on in. Good evening from Indiana, Queens, New York City. I know, but it's still home. Tomorrow I'll go do shopping like every week. I will have the surprise of how much it costs each week. Yes. So true, right? You're seeing the price increases just so dramatic. Hello, anybody on TikTok or Instagram, if you want to ask a question, of course, at any time, please do. But I want to get into today, once we get enough people in the house, I want to get into the real unemployment rate. I got some information to show you in just a second. If you're on Instagram or TikTok and you want to see what I'm showing on the screen, which will only be for about 5 minutes or so, please join me on YouTube at The Money GPS. Halifax, Nova Scotia, thank you very much. The truth about coffee. The truth about coffee. I got to tell you, it's addicting. There's no doubt. Great content. Enjoy your YouTube videos. Thank you very much. More to come, by the way. I'm going to ask this question a few times throughout, but I want to know if you saw, I purposely posted it maybe 2 hours ago on YouTube. I posted a YouTube short. Okay, it was a 50-second video, and I was testing to see how that worked out. Please let me know if you saw the YouTube short video. It's the same one, by the way. TikTok, you saw it already. Instagram, you saw it already. But I released it at approximately 7 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube Shorts. And I'm testing the algorithm on this one. So please let me know in the comment section, and that would be of help to me. Saw it? Yes, I saw it. Okay. Just saw it before coming here. Yep, popped up in my feed. Can I ask you one more question? Did it come up as like if you have iOS notifications, like in your actual phone's notifications, or did it come up only when you opened up YouTube? That's what I want to know. Did you open up YouTube, you go to your home page, you saw it there, or did an actual pop-up come and say, the Money GPS just posted this, and you got that notification on your phone? Not notified, saw it on the YouTube homepage. Okay. I'm just trying to get direct feedback from you guys, my subscribers, because I really do appreciate that a lot, okay? Came up in the recommendeds and I'm not a sub. Interesting. I guess the question is, why aren't you a sub? Let's get you on here. You got to hit that subscribe button. You got to hit the bell. Come on, let's do it. You can ask any question on here. I will answer, all right? Let me know. Put it in the comment section. Let's do this. I didn't get the notification. Okay, so right now I'm seeing that pattern. People didn't get the notification for it, but if they went to YouTube, they would have seen it. And actually, that's a good thing. I don't want to be annoying, because if I'm posting my one regular video of the day and then you get a YouTube short, maybe some people will be annoyed. You know, they see too many notifications from this guy and they start exiting out of there. It's nice if you just come into YouTube, you're searching, and then, you know, one of these shorts comes up. That would be optimal, I think. My YouTube settings favor my subscriptions going live. Okay, interesting. Thank you. Recommended feed, double check the bell, just re-clicked it. Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. The Money GPS YouTube homepage also. What can you tell about the inverted yield curve? Okay, YouTube homepage also. Okay, so you got both. What can you tell about the inverted yield curve inversion year beforehand? Yeah, it started. So about the yield curve inversion, what had happened was, you know, this thing comes down, and it isn't until it actually moves back up that we have problems historically. And obviously, I think it was just a coincidence. It wasn't planned around that, but that's literally exactly what happened this time around. Different story altogether, but that's historically the way it is. I don't like that happens to be an extremely accurate indicator, but like you never know. Something just comes around and changes things altogether. So whether that's in this case happened to be perfectly timed or, you know, not the case, nobody knows. YouTube notification, okay. I wouldn't be annoyed. Thank you, Anne. Appreciate that. Discord, I don't have a Discord. Puerto Rico in the house. Thank you, thank you. How are you staying sane in a world that makes no sense? You got to be grounded in something you want to achieve in your life, your goals, and so on. And I think that's really, really key. These goals could be financial goals. They could be, I intend on running 1 mile, and then I intend on running 2 miles and 3 miles and 4 miles, and having like physical goals, or maybe you wanna lift some weights and you have those type of goals. And just having those goals keeps you going and keeps you looking at it ahead. And certainly you don't want to be, you know, messed up with all the things that are going on around. Obviously you can be worried about these things all day, every day, but there's more to it. Okay, we got this going on. Saw on YouTube. Okay. Let me see. Reading from Instagram right now. Saw on YouTube. I see your YouTube stories. See the shorts when I go to your channel, but it was not on my shorts feed. Interesting. Keep up the good videos. Oh, it showed up on my YouTube notifications. Okay. Interesting. Reflation, I don't know the exact definition of it, to be honest. And my assumption is that, you know, like just that they call disinflation, like they can't say the word deflation because they're scared of it. Reflation is just inflation as far as I'm concerned. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I see it. Coming here for the truth, yes. All right. Kettlebells, good stuff. Anything, whatever works for you, right? Yeah, so I was on BitChute before, and their system stopped working, pulling my videos automatically. So I contacted the support. They couldn't fix it or whatever, so I just stopped. As of today, literally just today, I set up Rumble, and previous to that I had Odyssey, which is still going, and those should automatically be pulling every time I post. They'll be on there as well. There's a lot of places to do it, but to be quite honest with you, just as a business, it's just not not good. None of the alternative platforms are good, unfortunately. The real unemployment doesn't matter to the stock market. The actual number, no, the actual number doesn't, clearly, because it's fake, right? So it doesn't matter. However, don't think that the amount of people that are unemployed doesn't matter, because that does matter. That's really key to understand. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys. All right. Let me do this quickly, okay? I'm going to show you what I've got right here. Share my screen. Get rid of my pictures of Janet Yellen. 1 second. A lot of pictures of Janet Yellen up here. Okay. So I'll show you this. So what you're looking at, by the way, Instagram, I'm showing shadowstats.com. You've probably seen it. TikTok, you've probably seen it. Shadowstats.com, right? This is the unemployment rate. There are different ways to measure this. If you look at the official U3 unemployment rate, the red line, that's giving us 5.9%. Then you look at the U6, that's higher. And the blue line is Shadowstats recalculation of the data, which is a much more broad way to look at it, and it is approximately 26%. It all depends on how you calculate it. Very different, okay? It's a very different scenario. Now let me show you something else. Got another one to show you here. So maybe you say to yourself, you know what, Shadow Stats, don't trust it, don't like it, I don't know who this guy is, what's he doing, doesn't make sense. Okay, fine. Here is the BLS.gov, those who actually supplied the information for you, okay? And look, 5.9% right there, if you could see that in the corner, maybe I'll zoom in. 5.9% for the U3 unemployment rate as of June 2021. It has come down significantly from last year at this time, 11.2%. But look at this. If I show you this, scroll across, pardon me, U6. This is a more broad definition of the unemployment rate, which the funny part is what Jerome Powell keeps talking about. As of last year, this was 18.3%. So, you work 1 hour a week, maybe. Yeah, you're employed, but you're not really employed. And then you look at June 2021, right now, it's 9.8%. This is the government's own statistics. Government's own statistics showing you that the unemployment rate is 9.8%. And that really brings me to, ultimately, to what I wanted to just get into, is that the unemployment rate is a matter of what you include. If you work 1 hour a month, you are technically employed, but really you're not. And there's another group of people that exists right around the poverty line that they're employed. They're just barely scraping by. Maybe they need to go in a little bit of debt every month and so on. These people may not be able to qualify for different types of government programs, or not enough programs to keep them going. They've got problems. Regardless, there's like multiple levels of this, right? It's not just who's unemployed, who's employed, and that's about it. There's much more to it than that. And I think that a lot of the people out there are being underserved, and they're not like, the whole root cause of all this, it's not being addressed. Okay. Hello, TikTok. Hello, Instagram. This is just what I want to talk about. So anyway, that's it. We'll just cover the questions right now. I saw the YouTube short. Looking forward to more shorts. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to bring one out every day. So you're going to see, if you want all of them, you could go to my TikTok. You can go to my Instagram on the stories. Actually, YouTube stories has it too, but not many people see the YouTube stories. Not as many people. So the YouTube shorts, I guess, would be the place to go. Wasn't the continued unemployment number a good number this morning? It appeared to be down approximately 300,000. I have not seen the numbers yet. I have not seen the numbers yet. I'm pulling them up as soon as I finish this video. But it doesn't address what I talked about just a moment ago. I know I'm behind, like I'm behind in the chat right now, but that's the point. What do you see for the coming future for the American people? I think a lot of people are not going to do well. Some people will do just fine. Some people, they're going to be okay because they've got a garden, because they're, got good relationships with their neighbors. They live in maybe not a super condensed environment. There's, a lot of people who are probably going to thrive. TikTok, anybody who comes into TikTok gets a follow. Good stuff there. All right. Have you heard of the large number of cattle dying across the seas from the drought? If bad, how do you think it will affect us? I have not heard that. I'm not sure if the spelling was right there. I haven't heard anything about cattle dying, but I know that droughts are a very, very serious problem. Basically all around the world right now. We're seeing a lot of wildfires and so on. Many are questioning what it's all about. I don't know. I really don't know. But I know that the effects of it are going to be higher prices on food. I can tell you that. Wall Street versus Main Street is fact versus fiction. Yes, it is. How are the poor going to be able to survive in the big cities with crime and inflation and food prices? The many will unfortunately not do well. That's why I'm kind of warning everybody now, saying, hey, get your stuff in order right now. Do what you can. Everybody can do a little bit. Everybody can do a little bit, I assure you. But at the same time, we should be finding out, why is everything costing so much? Like, why? The people just expect, it's inflation. It's just inflation. That's how it is, inflation. But there's nothing to that, right? That's not an explanation. By the way, tomorrow I'm gonna have a special guest on. Definitely come onto the live tomorrow. I got a special guest, somebody who's, let's just say, an established individual, owns his own business in the shipping industry. He doesn't want to come out publicly and talk about it because he's going to share some intel with us that I haven't even heard yet. Okay, so I said, why don't, instead of talking privately, would you share it on the live? Would you come on? We'll have a talk together, the two of us, and then we got everybody on the live finding out at the exact same time. And he said, yes, let's do it. So I really appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. So that's going to be tomorrow night at 9 p.m. on the live, just like normal, except it's going to be the two of us. I don't know if he's going to stay the entire time frame. Probably not, but definitely I appreciate that. Anybody who wants to come on and share that kind of information when they're a prominent individual, I do appreciate it, of course. In addition to that, I emailed, maybe a bunch of you might be aware, Lynn Alden. I emailed Lynn Alden, and I want an interview with her. We'll see if that's going to happen. I don't know. Has not emailed me back yet, but I'm waiting for that. If you guys like Lynn Alden, hopefully next week there's going to be an interview to post. So stay tuned for that. Let me know. Let me know in the comment section if you know about Lynn Alden and what you think. And by the way, we don't have to all agree with what anybody says. I want to actually bring people on that I completely disagree with. Are there more banks going to restrict lines of credit like Wells Fargo? Instagram is asking that question. And it was such a shock, such a surprise to me that, to be honest, I wouldn't think that more companies would do it. Like there's some reason why they did that. And I think they're maybe overexposed. That's my thought. Okay, guys, tons of questions here. Always, that's a great thing. Hope I'm not missing anything. Here we go. How do you think other countries will react when the government actually admits our situation? Yeah, well, it's going to be well after the fact, which is the funny part. So I think the market will have priced it in. People are going to it's going to be a known fact. And then you're going to kind of hear about it coming out from the actual Fed or whatever. It's always so late that it's like, all right, like it's going to be known. So, but what they do is, if they just don't admit it, it happens much slower. So there's not that big headline out there, and it's not a big ordeal. It's kind of over a period of a few weeks or a few months where it becomes extremely noticeable. So stay tuned for that. Everybody, if you're in here, hit that thumbs up button. We only have 78 likes. I can't believe it. There's, 7, or what is it, 8 trillion? I can't even remember now. $8 trillion on the balance sheet and only 78 likes. Come on, guys. We need to get 8 trillion likes. We're going to hit that like button until it's 8 trillion. I can wait all day. I can wait all day. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the support. Why has capital gains tax not slowed house price gains in Canada? Because, for your primary residence, doesn't account for your primary residence, though, capital gains. It's for people in Canada, the most important thing beyond all else is their primary residence. It's extremely important. They build the biggest house, the most obscenely large house possible, and spend maybe like the time in maybe the 5% of the house. That's what it's all about. So they don't own as much, they don't put as much of the money into like what the equivalent 401k, your RSPs, as let's say Americans do. So it's all in the house. All the wealth is kept in the house. That's just the way it is. Not a good idea, in my opinion, because that ends badly. And you have little control over what happens, right? All right, what do we got here? I'm going to go wherever the kittens went. Have a good evening. I told you they couple complaints about it. Got a couple complaints about the kittens. People didn't want it. Looks to me that we never recovered from 2008. Yeah, in many cases, the United States, most of the places anyway, never actually recovered from 2008. You are correct. We never did since the 70s, actually, in all honesty. In a way, because of the devaluation of the currency, and you've seen what happened. Like, look at that chart I had shown you previously. I also posted it onto my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and so on, where you look at the Campbell's soup. I think it was like tomato soup. And they showed it all throughout. It's been around for like, well over 100 years. And it's, it fluctuates, the price, it kind of fluctuates up and down, up and down. 1970s comes around and it just takes off. It just completely takes off. But the thing is, so the 70s were hot, crazy inflation, and things are hot. It's, oh my goodness, right? But then what happened? It came down in the 80s, right? The price came down. What about the 90s? The price came down, right? What about as the inflation rates are dropping and the interest rates are dropping, the Campbell's soup price went down, right? Nope, it did not. The prices continued to rise. We hit a period of very high inflation. We go into a period where no longer is the dollar attached to anything of substance, and you see the result very clearly. All right. Do you think any indices will follow the Hang Seng soon? Maybe. There is a lot of weakness. Like I talked about it in my my YouTube stories and Instagram and all that. And basically, right now it's looking very weak. But I would, as I mentioned, I believe, the fact that what we're seeing today is essentially just waiting. Can we get the infrastructure bill to pass? Can we get the debt ceiling to be raised? Is there going to be another stimulus package? So, it's going up, it's breaking records, but it's weaker. It's not those turbocharged kind of strength that we had seen before. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down a little bit more. Okay, it's up again, it's up, and it's kind of doing this, it's trotting along. So, of course, you start seeing these things from the Congress passing this and that, it's going to help push the markets higher. It's just the way I see it. I was expecting the market to sell off with so few new jobs added, but again, it does the opposite. Yeah. Like on an individual day, so it is important overall for the economy, but on an individual day, quite frankly, it just doesn't matter that much anymore, unfortunately. It's just the way it is. It's crazy. Federal Reserve keeps pumping. That's true. It's all very distressing, yes. But we can do things for ourselves, okay, guys? We can absolutely do things to mitigate the effects of inflation or problems that we're having. There's no doubt about it. Everybody today, if they're working a 9-to-5 job, they have an opportunity to bring in a secondary source of income. Now, you might think, well, my local community just doesn't have it. It's a sleepy town and all that. If you've got the internet, you could make it happen. I assure you, it takes a lot of work. There's no doubt. But in my case, I was determined. At one point, working 3 jobs. This was a very difficult period. I was working basically all day from morning until night. But I had that goal in mind, work hard now and get to, do what I want later. And of course, that's the way it works for a lot of people, okay? But you gotta work hard, and it takes a long, long time. Some people get lucky. It's great. Some people win the lottery too, right? All right. Thank you, Instagram. Appreciate that. A lot of people sharing their, the unfortunate circumstances that they're dealing with right now. Who knows if there's going to be lockdowns and everything again? That will hurt a lot of people, and I feel bad. It's just not a nice situation anyway. So you will never reach the bottom of the chat. Yesterday I did. There's a lot of people work for cash, so those do not show up in the jobs numbers. Sure, that hasn't changed. That hasn't changed over the years. All right, hello, how are you? Thank you for coming on in. Talking about the Delta shutting things down. I don't even know if you're still in there. No, we got 0 viewers on TikTok. I'm so sad about it. Let's see, oops. All right. Okay. Everything you do is great. Thank you very much. Do you know anybody that goes live every day? Is there another channel that goes live every day like this? In this sort of realm? Greetings. Thank you very much for coming on in. Look for manufactured homes, camper, RV sales to skyrocket, and RV parks becoming a year-round for many families. I see it already. I absolutely believe that will be the case. 600,000 average weekly jobless claims since March 2020. Do the math. Yes. Susan, thank you very much for the support. As always, I truly appreciate that. This is not a lucrative business, I can tell you that much. When the views aren't doing well, it's just the way it is. So I do appreciate all the support. You're very inspirational. Thank you. I'm trying to do what I can and trying to have more focus on not just covering the information, but what people can do with the information. Okay, without just trying to stay away from that financial advice, of course, right? And it's kind of silly because every single channel just gives financial advice. They're just reading you the tickers. I remember I've talked about this before. I saw one very prominent person, won't say the name, telling people on a live stream the future price of the Tesla stock, and I think put a date around it too. By this time, oh yeah, for sure it's going to be at that price. I mean, that's not good. Even if it hits that, that's not okay. Thank you. Oh man. Money GPS, you can print more likes or create likes on a screen. Yes, if I had the Federal Reserve's printing press here, that would help me out. I could pump a few likes. Never mind. Hit that like button, guys. You two on TikTok, what are you doing here? You're not giving that like button? You ask a question, I answer it. We did it, Patrick. We saved the market meme will become a reality soon. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Mobile homes are hot. Single wide's going on for over $70,000. Double wide's going for $120,000. Still have to pay a lot rent on top of that. Yes. And look what's happening today. I talked about it in my video I did this morning. You're seeing all these big establishments that are buying it in. Small landlords. People say, oh, my landlord's bad. My landlord's bad. And then what happens? You're going to have Blackstone buying it. You think Blackstone is not going to send the goons in to come in and take what you've got? Do you think that these huge companies, these mega establishments, aren't able to skirt around all the rules? Trust me, in many cases, that small landlord might be a better guy. Sometimes not definitely not the case, but this isn't good. It's not good. Small landlords going out, big landlords coming in. I'm not sure if this is a question directed to me, but in terms of selling gold, I'm not sure why would somebody ever sell their gold? I don't know. Maybe there's a reason, but I'm not aware of it. I can't think of a reason to sell it. Awesome. Thank you very much for the support. About the globalist elites. So I have done videos about this previously. Of course, you have to tiptoe around everything. I think all of that content that I had previously posted is now gone from this platform. Not allowed to talk about it. Your channel will be removed. And I would just say that there is a higher level of authority beyond the current governments that you see today. And you can try and point a finger one part here or there, but it is those who are in the shadows which control everything. But ultimately, you as an individual, I don't even know if it matters, to be honest. The more I look into it, the more I realize that they're so shadowy. They're so far from like our reality that there's such a disconnect. Anyway, so I would say that, just do what you can as an individual in your own circumstances, and that's it. There's always going to be a group that is all powerful and all knowing, and they're going to tell you when the sun comes up in the morning. Okay, they're telling the Federal Reserve what to do with interest rates, and guess what? They're telling all the other central banks what to do with the interest rates. They've got their people in all the governments around the world and the royal bloodlines and so on. It's just the way it is. Hope that answers your question. Meet Kevin does live streams almost every day or twice a day during the market open and close. Maybe he's a Tesla speculator. Probably is. All right. Get a financial education and determine which stocks are best for you. No one can tell you this. I do agree with that entirely. You got to be able to make the decision for yourself so you know when you hit that button to buy, you're going to be making the right choice and you're not listening to a guy on a live stream. Awesome. Thank you very much for the support on this. Is a credit union subject to bail-ins? That's a very good question. The specific answer, to be honest with you, I do not know. My understanding of the situation is no. Can they do it? Perhaps. However, in general, banking system in general, I think what we'll see with the bail-ins is going to be multi-stage approach. They are going to take from uninsured accounts first. Then maybe you get a period of time and if things are still chaotic, then they go to the insured accounts. I think that's how it's going to work. That is completely speculation. In general, okay, so first of all, I have a video about credit unions. If you go to the Money GPS YouTube channel, scroll down to the bottom, there's one that says e-course, something like this, the Money GPS e-course. So you go in there, there's one about credit unions that breaks it all down. Okay. Then you can actually go and just look into what I said, which was basically that a credit union is most likely safer than a regular bank. It has different things that protect it and so on. It's not exposed to the derivatives and this and that. But it's still the same currency. And so that brings me back to my original point that I talk about here at the Money GPS, and that is you do not want to save your money in cash. Yes, you got to pay bills. You need some emergency cash. You get your paycheck from your company. It comes in there. Absolutely. Okay. It makes life easier, certainly, in many cases. Okay. But you don't want to be saving your money in cash. You want to save it in an asset. So I hope that answers your question in my long-winded form. On Instagram, love the content. Keep it up. What's good, brother? Thank you for coming on in. Coming here for the truth. Thank you. Do the current reverse repo operations have a determined end date? If so, what happens to inflation and credit at the end of the rainbow and almighty dollar? So in regards to the reverse repos, these so far have been 1 day. So it's just think of it like a bond that's expiring in 1 day. That's what they're buying into. Okay, so it's a short-term piece of paper for 1 day. So that's all it is. Okay, it's just a way to park their money, the commercial banks to park their money overnight. And they bring back, although the amount is actually small that they get, they are still bringing in a decent amount because, hey, when you're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars, doesn't matter if it's a small percentage, it's coming through. That's all good. So that's that. Reverse repos. In terms of the US dollar, still the big boy on the block, despite how terrible it is. The other ones aren't any better. All right. Thank you for the support. Some work sectors have seen huge increase in wages. Yes, that is true. That is absolutely true. You're looking at incentives of all kinds being given to people right now. All kinds. I mean, I've seen it all over the place. And they're just desperate. In some cases, they're desperate to get people in. I've heard about everything from retail. They can't find somebody to work. They can't do it. And so, what does that mean long term? I don't know. It's crazy just to see, we can't find people. Suddenly you have a problem. The amount of job openings that are there's a lot of job openings, but there's still a lot of people out of work. It doesn't match up. The Fed discontinued M1, M2. Yeah, what about M3? You remember that? I don't know their official reason. I don't know, other than I do believe Jerome Powell at one of the press conferences mentioned something about it and basically said it doesn't give us value, so we have to calculate it. Therefore, it's kind of just taking up money, which is it's just ridiculous. Lo and behold, when it's spiking, I mean, the M2 is just going like a straight up line. We're going to discontinue. But to be honest, I don't know what's the real reason. I mean, what's their official reason? I don't know. The system is sustained with continuous credit expansion. Yes, until it pops. I learned lots at the Money GPS. Thank you very much for that. Trying to bring out more information, trying to help people in different ways. I'm bringing out YouTube shorts, YouTube stories, YouTube long form videos, live YouTube, like every single one. And actually still the subscribers went down. They keep going down every day. But I just come on, I do what I can, right? I can't make people do anything. I ask people to like. If they like, they like. If they don't, they don't. But I'm just doing what I can as an individual, trying to do my best. I'm trying to be as informative as possible. If you have a suggestion, if you want to bring on me to bring on somebody to do an interview, you got to let me know. right? You got to let me know. This is the channel where I respond directly to your feedback and I bring that in. You know, all these changes I've been making all kinds of changes, everything from the introduction to the Money GPS insights. That's based on the feedback that I've gotten over a long period of time, right? It doesn't just happen overnight. I'm not going to just see one comment and immediately switch everything just like that. But I've taken that in because I'm thinking, how do I make this the most valuable YouTube channel there is in this space? And that's what I'm trying to do. So I've got all kinds of ideas. Of course, I'm limited by money. I'm limited by time and so on, but I'm just trying to do what I can with what I've got. So I hope we appreciate that. Cash is trash. Mom sold her house and can't find another yet, thus the credit union question. Okay, if you got a potentially a short period of time, I think you're okay in terms of bail-ins. I mean, we're not there yet. So in terms of like buying a house, if it has to sit in there for a few weeks, maybe a couple months, for now, looking at it as of now, seems to be okay. I would still split it between multiple banks if possible. Like you don't want it to be uninsured. Debt can never be a problem as long as it's manageable. That I would disagree with. I would say that that term of being manageable, it's how do you define it and so on? Like, is it a debt to GDP ratio of 100%, and why 100? Right, that's what a lot of people talk about. Yeah, it's at 100%, it becomes unmanageable. Why not 99%? Like, it's just arbitrary numbers and decisions that people are making. But that's just me. Brother was telling me state chartered credit unions are safer than the federal chartered ones in regards to bail-ins. There you go. That's a piece of information for you. I particularly, I can't respond to that, but that definitely may be the case. Thinking about it's 0.05% each day, talking about the reverse repo operations. It's not really a small amount. That's actually quite a big accumulator. Exactly. And it's funny because, they were giving it out. First, it was 0% for a while. But as soon as they increased it to that 0.05, the uptake was much higher. And let me check that out. Fed repo. Let's see what we got. Fed repos. $944 billion today, everyone. 944 billion. Only one day we went over the trillion. That was fun though when we did the party, the $1 trillion reverse repo party. I don't know. Japan has been going through asset deflation for 30 years. Cash can be king again. Yeah, I would say Japan's a big failure. Thank you very much for your support. As always, thank you. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you. People need videos on budgeting. Unfortunately, they are watching the get rich quick video. Yeah, it's true, right? It's true. They never watch what they need to. It's always very short-term thinking. TikTok is like that. TikTok, come on. What do you think of Ethereum London hard fork that happened yesterday? I don't have a personal opinion on it. Any sort of fork could introduce instability within that original coin, and the new coin is sort of uncertain to begin with. But I would say that we need a lot of these different coins to disappear. Really. It's not good. You want to have more focus. You want to have just a handful of really good coins that have their own purpose, right? Each coin has its own strengths and weaknesses. And so the market has to decide that. And at this point, if you're keep splitting up the amount of cryptos that are out there. The money is getting split up, and you can't apply, like, for example, like you got all these mines, and you've got all these different businesses that are surrounding this company, and it spreads you too thin because there's only so many people that are willing to work on any of these cryptos. So, if they were more concentrated a bit during this build up phase, instead of trying to, spread themselves out, I think it'd be a lot better. I heard through the grapevine that China wants gold pegged at around $10,000 an ounce. There's a lot of talk about that, to be honest with you. Like, China is secretly building up all these massive gold reserves, and they're gonna do this and that. But I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. Like, they printed a lot of money. It's not like they're, not doing the same as every other country, right? So I don't know. I don't know about a peg, really. Thank you very much for the support. As always, thank you to anybody that supports me. Appreciate it. Are you drinking tequila again? Water. Always the water. You can never get enough water. All right. I mean, not in a literal sense, of course. Bitcoin will prevail. Thank you very much, Chaz. Coming on in again. Ethereum is no good. Bitcoin will prevail. Time will tell. I think each coin has their own benefits and weaknesses for sure. Some cheaper transactions, some are faster, some are going to be more stable, some have privacy, much more privacy towards them. But having whatever, I don't even remember, it's like thousands of different coins, in my opinion, is not good for this. But short term here or medium term, the market has to figure that out. It has to decide what's what. In the meantime, I think it's probably not the best thing. Excellent. I don't know if I had seen this one already, but thank you for the support, as well as Chaz. Chaz, thank you very much. I know, Chaz, you must be real busy recently. You must have a lot of work going on. That's awesome. It's a good thing. I'm sure you're tired, but I'm sure that's a good thing. And you have a skill too. Anybody who works with a true skill, they've got a handy skill, it's fantastic. Because let's say you live in Florida, or maybe you live in San Francisco, and now for whatever reason you say, I'm getting out of here, I'm gone. You can move to a different place, and perhaps your skill is still valid in this new place. And that's so important, that you can pick up and go and still have a skill. That might be baking, it might be whatever, construction, and it might be some programming, whatever that is, but you need to be able to have mobility. And I don't ever see other YouTubers and alternative finance or whatever, I never see them talking about that. And it's so strange to me. It's like they just give you the such basics about finance. And I get it, like, we all got to start somewhere, but you can't live in that space, guys. You can't live in that space of these ultimate basics. And then there's others who just go so far down the rabbit hole that they can't come back up to Earth. We got to be on planet Earth a little bit too, right? So we just need that deeper layers, a little bit deeper layers. Come on. What do you think about Canadian housing market, especially small town where the prices have shot up? Yes, Spencer, thank you very much. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. The prices are crazy, to say the least, as you know. So if you look at these places where, you've got Toronto. Let's take Toronto, for example, and I know this is the same in so many other cities. Main city, got a financial district downtown. It's busy. It's the hustle bustle. Prices are high. Then you go out a little further out of the core, and it's got, there's a lot of density. There are very expensive homes. People are driving the nice cars, but it's still like an active environment. And then you go out into sort of the smaller towns and cities and things where it's more suburban type environment. And that's normal. You tend to get like the for the most part. I mean, I'm generalizing, but your main area, very expensive, generally tighter, smaller homes, smaller lots, perhaps even, and you got a lot more condos in these places. And as you go further out, you get bigger homes, bigger lots, and the prices generally, many factors, of course, generally move lower as you go out. Things have really changed, especially in Canada, okay? And I know you know this. But you go and start to see these tertiary cities, and I wouldn't even call them tertiary cities, but for people around the Toronto area, maybe they know of London, Waterloo, St. Catharines, like all these like smaller places that, not those necessarily, but some of the other ones around those areas that, in my opinion, there's just no jobs. There's no jobs there. But because people are working from home, they sold their condo. Now they can buy a whole house in these smaller towns. What does that do to the price? Pushes it up. There's only so many homes available, so the inventory dries up really quickly. And what does that do to the prices? It shoots them up. That's going on in Canada right now, all over the place. And it's not just Canada, it's everywhere. Guys, don't forget about the insiders. Insiders is a really, really important place for me because that's going to get around the censorship so that I can get to you directly. I am planning on big things for the insiders. It's going to be a full newsletter at some point once we can get enough people, enough attention on it. I think that's really key, for myself as a creator, but also for you because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of what they're doing and so on. So I'm planning that. I'm planning all kinds of stuff. So definitely check it out. And don't forget to hit that like button. We got 216 people in the house today. I'm planning on going for another 10 minutes or so. So if you have any questions, definitely let me know. I'm trying to get to as many as possible. Earlier in the video, I was talking about the unemployment rate, which of course, as we know, depends on how you calculate it. If you haven't seen the beginning, you just got in or what have you, and you want to check it out, definitely you can go to the Twitter or the Facebook because these videos go unlisted soon after I go off. So then you can go on there and check it out for yourself on the Twitter and the Facebook. And tomorrow, definitely tune in to the live I got tomorrow. I've got somebody, a prominent individual who wants to remain nameless, and that is in the shipping industry, okay? So he's going to come on live. So we're going to hang out maybe 15, 20 minutes beforehand, chat it up a little bit because I've never talked to him personally live. And then as soon as he feels comfortable at 9, hopefully we'll be able to go on live and we're going to do a live interview. Never done one like this before. And I think it'll be really interesting. And then hopefully after a period, if we ask enough questions and so on, that I can take questions from you guys. So we're getting somebody in the inside who says he's got information about a fishy situation that's going on. I've been covering freight of all kinds. Stay tuned for that interview tomorrow. We will talk about that. Please hit the like, everyone. Let's see if it really works to up his channel authority. Yes, Susan. Yes. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you for the support. As always, guys, really appreciate it. Like everyone. Yes, please. I hope whatever you're planning includes plenty of kittens, unicorns, and even sunshines and lollipops. Yes, definitely. That's gotta have to happen. Maybe every morning you get a kitten in your inbox. What are the best stocks for inflation? I like your videos. They are very helpful. Thank you very much. And for that, I would say the best stocks for inflation. I think real assets are the best for inflation. That's how I would answer that question. Real assets to protect against inflationary times. What do you do for a living? I have multiple businesses. Business is in my opinion, the number one asset. Why? Because businesses you can control. You can pay little to no taxes. You can do whatever you want. You can hire somebody in your business that does the effort for you and you decide the margin. Oh my goodness. Raymond, thank you very much. Learned a lot from your channel very quickly. Thank you, Raymond. I appreciate that very much. Truly, truly. Thank you. If you have a question, please put it there. I mean, if you have a recommendation, anything, you can always email me directly. Anybody, by the way, who wants to email me, I respond to everybody. It takes me a little while to get back to you, but get on the insiders. You just reply to that and I answer it. Thank you for the support again. As well, this right here, you mentioned on Instagram about Clorox losing profits from last year. You stated it wasn't because of inflation. No, I did. It was because of inflation. Let me correct. What else caused the markets to behave this way? So basically the raw materials, the prices that they have to pay for their products, even the containers. So I know this as a fact, talking with somebody in that was basically when the whole thing happened, early 2020, they were looking into sell products on Amazon, like hand sanitizer and this stuff. So they went to purchase, like the actual bottles themselves. He couldn't find small bottles, could not find anywhere small bottles that would be for hand sanitizer. So he had to go and buy like the gallons and bigger than that, like these huge containers. And he said that the prices were astronomical. Like it was just crazy, the prices that they wanted to charge. And so people would say, oh, they're price gouging. They're price gouging. And you remember, there was a whole thing about that. And of course, that was going on. However, like the actual raw materials to make them and the demand was so high that in fact, seeing the prices multiply was not a change in margin. That was raw materials and so on. So that's going on with Clorox. So you see the Clorox as the speculation, we head into, I think, and then we got to like maybe September, October, somewhere time frame around there. And the stock has kind of been heading down ever since. Okay, it's just been going down and down and down and down. It's down something like 50% or so from its peak. And so this is what I say, and that's what I said on Instagram and YouTube stories and all this. It's that inflation, just like in the 1970s, may help at first, but it might hinder the performance later on. Right now, everyone, oh yeah, inflation, it's good because it's going to devalue the currency, it's going to push assets up. Doesn't just work. It's not so linear. Doesn't really just work like that. So I hope that answers your question. If I made a mistake in the video, I hope not. But yeah, it's definitely inflation hurting that stock, or at least that was their claim in the earnings call, and the stock dropped like 17% and then dropped a little bit more on the following day. Awesome. Thank you very much for the support. Favorite Kardashian? Bruce, I guess. Yeah. Probably Bruce. I've heard of that one. I'm not too familiar. I like to keep up with the Kardashians, but I don't know all of them. All right. Gonna answer a couple more questions, and then I am out of here. Steve Saretsky, yes. Now, you probably haven't seen, I did an interview with Steve Saretsky a few weeks ago, maybe about a month ago now. Yeah, you could definitely check it out. If you type in Steve Saretsky, the Money GPS, you will see that. Did an interview, we talked about where the money is coming from. Where is the money coming from, guys? How is it possible that people are able to afford $1 million, $2 million homes? Their salary is not keeping up with that. How is it possible? Where are the kittens? Not allowed to do the kittens anymore. Received 3 formal complaints. People were not happy about the kittens. So, September. Why is September important? Yes. Okay, so there are multiple things in September. You got the big Federal Reserve meeting in September. At the same time, initially, so if we go like 6 months back, I started pointing to September that they had said inflation is going to run hot through the summer, but then it's going to go down. And of course, we measure inflation year over year. So you may get the effect regardless, but essentially you would see that by the time we make it into September, things start, they don't continuously go up in terms of inflation. We should start to see it level it off and maybe tip down. That's key right around September. But you're also seeing Janet Yellen, Powell, others from the Fed, all these people that have said, well, you know what, actually inflation is going to run hotter than normal for a longer period of time. And they haven't put that as part of their official policy and so on, but many of them have said that. So I think they're trying to just break through that September timeframe and just go even further. I don't know how long they could push it on for, honestly. Really don't. Right now, everything's, I don't want to say okay, but, you know, people aren't really caring, right? Because if their portfolio is doing well, if their house price is going up, the general public is good. Yeah, their food is up, but their house is also up a lot, so they're okay. Just take out a home equity line of credit, you're all good, right? Well, that's what they'll tell you. Seen many people talk about the benefits of taking out a home equity line of credit and spending the money, which maybe that's good. Interest rates are low, but what's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen next year? Are you still going to be employed? Are you going to have that same source of income? If your assets drop by 20%, 30%, 50%, are you going to be in the same position? You know how they say when it rains, it pours? That is something that I truly 100% believe in. And a lot of times people get, one bad thing happens, another thing follows, and then people just say, why me? And these kind of things do happen all the time to people. It's really unfortunate. So that's why you got to be prepared for a rainy day at any time, guys. Really be prepared. And that means everything you can do. Everything you can do. Okay, inflation, thank you. That explains it. Good stuff. All right. Billionaires are the new middle class. Yes, I actually have a t-shirt, not a see-through t-shirt like I'm wearing today again, but there's a t-shirt that I have, I wrote future billionaire. And it's funny because, you know, with the devaluation of the currencies, perhaps that'll be a t-shirt for everybody, right? Future billionaire, maybe a future trillionaire. Who knows? Do 175 million 5-year contracts to NBA players under current market climate pose any red flags? They have always been getting absurd, like just these absurd amounts constantly. I remember many years ago hearing about Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod, who got this huge, I mean, maybe it was something like 250 million at the time, and that was the biggest deal, 10-year deal, and this and that. I don't remember the numbers, but and then it's just always increasing. It's just because there's so much easy money out there that they'll pay them whatever. As long as more money will float into these businesses, they're willing to do that. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. I'm going to take off shortly. I'm going to answer just a couple more questions. I'm out of here. I want to thank everybody for their support today on this. Let me know what you think about the YouTube stories, the YouTube shorts, the YouTube lives. I need to know your feedback. This is important. This is the only YouTube channel out there where you actually say something and the guy responds. I mean, the guy's here every day. This is the person running the channel. So I'm trying to bring this detail to you. I'm trying to make it the best I possibly can. Okay, so your feedback does count. This is not like, the suggestions bin at your place of employment where they look at the suggestions and whose handwriting is that? We need to get them in trouble. No. This is like, I'm happy to get your feedback. I'm your number one fan. Thank you, Calvin. How dare the money GPS keep all those kittens and unicorns on unemployment because of a few complainers? That's true. Brilliant mind. So, let me just check something quickly. All right. Do you have any book recommendations? This is something I have to take care of, obviously, because I keep talking about this. So, depends on what you're into, what you're interested in. If you're talking about finance specifically, then I got a couple really quickly. If you want the simplest of simple, well, hey, let me plug my own. You got to get the Money GPS. You got to get Global Economic Collapse. These two books are so fantastic for just explaining things so simply. If everybody would read it, they would have this amazing foundational knowledge. Okay, that's my own plug. After that, if I wanted a super simple book that basically anybody can read, I would read Freakonomics, I would read Super Freakonomics. What I learned from those two books is the power of incentives. If people have an incentive, they will do that thing. If they don't have the incentive, they don't do it. And of course, it explains it more. If I want to learn about kind of like portfolio, like how to build a portfolio, and I'm talking about mainstream type economists portfolio, I would read Money Mastered the Game by Tony Robbins. I would read Ray Dalio's Principles. Those are two definite ones right there. And if I wanted to know about the history and why things are the way they are, why there's inflation, why all of this happens, who's controlling things, I would read The Creature from Jekyll Island by G. Edward Griffin. All right, guys, I'm going to take off. If there's any... The Money GPS should be taught in high school. Thank you. I wish. I really wish. I want to make like a... I don't want to say it like this, but like a dumbed down version of the Money GPS that doesn't talk about, the government interference and so on, and make it just a really, really good, simple book for people to learn the basics. And that's kind of my hope. My initial plan is 3 levels, teaching people like little kids, maybe like a 6-year-old, like saving their piggy bank. And then like kind of like a little bit older, and then like a high school. And then of course there's the Money GPS after that. So I'm thinking about that, like maybe a 2 or 3 level type of in the books. So we'll see. Great sources, thanks. Absolutely. Okay, guys. I'm going to take off. I appreciate all of your help today. We went a little bit over the hour. I was trying to keep it to the hour, but you know how it works. If you haven't already, definitely get on the Twitter, get on the Instagram, get on all of those different platforms. I'm posting every day. I post funny stuff so that you can share with your friends and family, coworkers, and so on, that they get a little bit of this kind of knowledge, but it's done in a very funny way, or a little bit of a funny way, my humor anyway, and then it's shareable content, and that's what I'm trying to create. So I hope you will check that out. You can get on there. You don't have to even like subscribe. I know some people told me that I don't have any of these accounts. You don't have to subscribe. You could just go publicly to the Money GPS on any of the platforms, and you will see me there. And that's it for this one. Definitely check out not just the video I'm going to post tomorrow morning, but also come back to the live tomorrow. Tomorrow's live is going to have a special guest and something very interesting. Hope that will be informative to you. Take care, everybody. Appreciate everything. See you later.